So we're here in Ashburn, Virginia, having the sunset version of a data center campus tour here at the RagingWire campus in Ashburn. And I'm joined by Jim Leach, who's going to show us around.
Well, thanks for being here, Rich. Good to have you. We're just pulling up to RagingWire's new Ashburn data center campus. This is the next big thing for data centers in Ashburn, Virginia. This is a big plot of land. It's 78 acres. Our plan is for 7 interconnected buildings, 1.5 million square feet of data center space, and 108 megawatts of power. So it's a 100 megawatt plus campus. You see we just came through the patented fence that's installed around the entire property, and there you can see the exterior of the building. You know, RagingWire has always had a reputation for building world-class mission-critical data centers, but we've also won some awards recently for architectural design. And you can see that this data center is not only functional, but it's actually beautiful. So we're gonna park here, and then we'll go on inside.
So now we're inside the data center. We've made it through security, and we're inside one of the data halls here inside RagingWire VA3, which RagingWire refers to as vaults. So Jim, RagingWire is a company that got its start on the West Coast in Sacramento, but you've been in Ashburn for a few years now. Tell me a little bit about why RagingWire chose to build in Ashburn and what you've been doing here.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't realize that RagingWire was one of the early companies in the internet and in the data center space. The company was started in 2000, like you said, and in California. And for really the first 10 years of our history, we were a California data center company and ended up building what turned out to be one of the largest data centers in the state of California, and still is. And about 5 years ago, we made a strategic decision to move into Ashburn, Virginia, which at the time was the #1 data center market in the world, and still is.
Right.
And that was really a transformational decision for the company. Proving ourselves here in Ashburn, Virginia meant that we could build and operate truly world-class data centers. And we started with the VA1 data center, then the VA2 data center, and now we're in the VA3 data center, which, as I said, is part of a campus of 7 data centers that we'll be building over time that will total 1.5 million square feet of space and 108 megawatts of power. For those folks that are watching this video, if you haven't been to Ashburn, Virginia, and you're a data center person, you need to put it on your bucket list of things to do. There's nothing quite like Ashburn, Virginia and Data Center Alley for a data center person. It is without a doubt the highest concentration of the best data centers in the world. And in terms of size, the data center market here is bigger than any other country market in the world, and it's twice as big as any other market in the US. So there's nothing quite like it, and it really brings together the best suppliers, the best customers, the best service providers, everything you could ever look for in a data center.
So tell us a little bit about the room we're in now. You call these not data halls, but vaults. And you know, how much space are we looking at here, and how do you work with, you know, demising and sort of setting up the vaults within your data centers?
Well, so this whole facility is 245,000 square feet of space, and about half of that is data center white space, and then we divide that up into these vaults. And this is one of the vaults. This is Vault 1, which is 14,000 square feet. And our data center, this data center here, VA3, is really designed for flexibility. So there's ways to configure this vault so that you can divide it up for different kinds of space requirements. There's ways that you can divide it up for power requirements, for cooling requirements. We're even in this data center offering for the first time optional dedicated infrastructure for both power and cooling. So we think that that flexibility is really going to appeal to the large wholesale, hyperscale kinds of customers. But in addition to that, we have another vault that's twice the size of this one that is for more of the multi-tenant kinds of customers, the folks that sometimes are called retail data center customers, which interestingly are becoming quite sophisticated and much larger than they were before. These days, a 500 kW retail multi-tenant customer is becoming much more common than it was, say, just a couple of years ago.
So now we've seen where the servers live, but there's a lot more to the data center here, so we'll take a look at the next part. So now that we've seen where the servers live, this is the lobby of VA3, and it's a little bit different from some of the data center lobbies you might have seen before. So Jim, tell us a little bit about how RagingWire thinks about designing its data centers for people and employees.
Well, I think you bring up a great point, Rich. I mean, first and foremost, a data center has to be a great place for servers to live. And that means you need to have all the power, all the cooling, all the security, all the telecommunications to create that optimal environment to support the most demanding applications in the world. But once you've mastered that, then your data center also has to be a good place for people to work. And that's something that we've tried to do here in all of our data centers in Ashburn, Virginia, but particularly here in VA3, where you see this beautiful two-story atrium when you walk into the facility. And through this atrium, you can get to all the shared amenities, the customer lounges, the workout room, the conference rooms, even an outdoor patio that's fully secured. So this is one of those data centers where
we can pan over there and see that.
Can you see it out there?
Yeah, there's some outdoor tables, and it's fenced in and secured, which is good because today's a windy day.
Yeah. But how nice is it if you hear, a number of our customers, they're working nights and weekends to make sure that all those websites are running during the day when we want to access them all. There's a number of times where we come to work on Monday morning and we see IT professionals that have been here all weekend.
Right.
So why not create an environment for them that's at least comfortable? It's got the game rooms, the workout rooms, places to food and drink and beverages and those kinds of things. In addition, something that I love about this facility is that there's office space.
Right.
And there's office space not only for our customers to use, but for the RagingWire employees. And I'll tell you, it's a real advantage for us to be working right here in the data center so that we can do the best job supporting our customers.
So you've got your sort of Virginia headquarters, is in the...
Yeah, they're really nice offices. There's about 50,000 square feet of office space here. We take about 30,000 square feet of it or so for our purposes, and then the rest of it's available to our customers, which, by the way, they're really appreciating, particularly some of those larger hyperscale customers where they're developing the latest applications, they're doing new server kinds of technologies. For them to have space right here in the data center, direct connect to their systems is really an advantage.
Well, listen, Jim, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to drive us in and show us around.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Rich.